Hello out there. I'm Amy. This is Art Conspiracy. Today I'm going to paint for you. This is the culmination of a class project that we didn't get to finish. We usually, in our class, we look at the source, we draw, we do a thumbnail, and then we paint it, or at least we start the painting. But we didn't even get that far this time. So I thought I would record the painting part for my students, and you get to the benefit of that because I'm going to share it with you as well. So I want to give a special shout out to my friend and student, Dia Perry, who is the founder of this particular group that I'm working with. So let me get to it. Pretty fun subject matter. I think you're going to get a kick out of it. So let me share my screen. So here is our subject. And I say here's our subject, not here is the source or the photo, because we never copy a photo. We only use it for what we want. In this case, we're doing these ladies at the beauty salon, the old-fashioned hair dryers, pretty fun. Classic, I think. Anyway, so for instance, you could use the pose, you could use the legs crossed, you could use the bags, you could use the primary colors in their little tunics, which, by the way, are reflected up in their little face shields, which I think is kind of cool. Here's another source. I like this one. I like the black and white. I picture it black and white, checkered floor. Also, there's some more poses or gesture, or they could be drinking their tea, whatever. So again, you might take something from this. You take something from this. Here's another one. This one's good because it has very straight on perspective. So it's not a lot of drawing issues. Architectural space is pretty straightforward. So this one's pretty great. And if you want to put a dog in there, you got a dog. Speaking of which, I just heard mine bark. I might have to go let her in. And then there's this one. I thought it'd be really fun to play with the big hair rollers, which are very, very fun to draw. So let me show you. Here is my thumbnail. And just to give you an idea, this is about the size of my hand, a little bit smaller, between my thumb extended and my finger. Anyway, it's about 5 inches high. And this is just my placement, my general composition. I played with putting another person over here. That didn't make the final cut. And this person too. So this is sort of like my first run through, my first guess. And I think doing a thumbnail is a really great idea, because you can go through a lot of the decisions that you're going to have to make. And then when you get to the painting part, you can just paint with a little bit more abandon because you're not making all these other decisions at the same time. It helps you think things through, think through your plan. So that is my thumbnail. So now let me show you where I am. And here we go. So you can see, again, it's not that much bigger. My thumbnail was like this big. And now here is the translated drawing on watercolor paper. And you can see I did a pencil line. A lot of this is pencil line. And then I came in with ink. And the darker line is actually ink, like a very fine tipped ink, like this, a pen. But you'll notice, like, I didn't put it everywhere. I'm aware of my light source, which is coming from the right. And that's one of the things I established in the thumbnail phase. And so I put the line just on the shadow side of things. And then when I paint, I know where the side of that leg is. I mean, there's a very, very faint little bit of a line, but I don't have to draw everything solid. So I just put in enough ink to know where I'm going, to give me a roadmap, so to speak. And now I want to tell you about my plan, because plans are good. I want these white towels to really pop out, right? And I'm going to have black and white checkered. This will be light. So this will be light, the clock. So I'm thinking about where my lights are. I also want to have the color pink in here. I don't know why, but I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling pink. So I'm going to have some stark black and white and pink, and then some neutrals in the bench and so forth. So that's my plan. And I want to tell you, I think I want the pink hair rollers. So rather than get out the teeny tiny brush now or later, I'm going to just go ahead and put them in with my marker. So a purist watercolor would probably be like freaking out right now, but I think this is great. Whoop. Hold on. I don't know if you can hear that, but my phone's ringing. All right, I'm back. Hey, listen, I don't know why. This is a little bit out of focus. And I'm not sure why, but I'm just going to go forward. Sorry about that. Hope you can still see enough. Anyway, so I'm thinking about this. When you go to paint something like this, I find it's good to start with a color maybe that you're kind of sure about, because all the colors are relative. So get down something that you're sure about. Like I did the pink curlers. Now my dog's barking. You believe this? All right, I'll be right back. Yikes. I am absolutely determined to finish this video. I'm half expecting an earthquake at this point. Anyway, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to spritz my colors. Got my spritzer. And going to wake them up, wake up my little darlings. Okay, I even put a little water in my tray, which are unusually clean right now. Anyway, once in a while, I got to clean them out. So I'm going to do the flesh tones. And I often start with flesh tones. I do a burnt sienna, which is a nice kind of warm brown. I can do a pinky tone too for skin, for flesh, pinky tone, brown tones. It's always warm. But because there's pink in the rollers, I'm going to use more of a brown tone. Get the tissue ready. And here we go. I'm going in for it. And, you know, I got to tell you, when you first start painting, it is a little bit like, whoa, because once you start, you're on a journey and you're not going to be able to stop until you get down the road. So I'm just laying in my skin tones. There you go. Ta-da. Get a little bit more. A lot of leg here. And let's see, I don't have that line, but I know where that leg ends. There we go. Now I'm going to do a little bit of blotting to oh, I did the look. I did the light on the wrong side. No problem. Just go right back in. Blot on the other side. Totally fine. Then I can add darker tones here again along the shadow side. Little skirts cast in the shadow. It also gives it just a tiny bit of variation. All right, we got lady number 2, victim number 2. Here we go. I'm just going to do like a little splotch for her neckness, general area, legs. Got a little bit in her shoe. That's okay. I mean, we're not working within the lines, right? Am I right? Can I hear you out there? No working within the lines. Maybe just a little bit. There we go. So I'm adding a little darker side, a little shadow side. Good. And my line kind of starts to disappear as I darken this edge, which is great. There you go. And I can come in, do some more, just building up. Wah, wah. Thinking about the light and the dark side. Add a little dark, separate her neck from her head. Good. Good enough. Maybe I'll give her a little, whoops, a little light side. It doesn't have to be exact. It's all kind of soft and malleable at this point. Yeah, if you can see that, her neck is just a little smudge. Look very out of focus, but what the heck, I'm going with it. Nothing is going to stop me from finishing this video. Earthquake, plague, pestilence, whatever. Okay, now check this out. If I change the pen, back to me. I'm in focus. Back to the art. Look, it's perfectly clear. But it's going to go out of focus any second. I just know it. Okay, so I'm going to make like a pinky, peachy background. First, I'm going to do some of the checkers. Again, I'm going to do the colors I know. I'm not using black. I'm using sepia, which is a better color. Locking it in, blocking it in, locking it in. Oh yeah, having fun. Sepia is a beautiful dark, warm tone. Absolutely gorgeous. And I put it in unevenly, changing my brush strokes here and there. That's good. Yeah, perfect. And then we've got some in the back too. I got legs coming down. Work around that a little bit. Let's see, we'll go here. So the checkers are going toward the back as well. Right. Good. Just a suggestion. And then I might just take a little, kind of a light version. Oh, I'm going to put a cat in here. I thought about this. So I'm going to not do too much over here because I might have to draw the cat. So I got this idea from my sister Rita. Thinking about putting something underneath of the seat. So I think I'm going to do a cat. So I will do that maybe off camera and show you. Okay, so let's do our crazy wild pink. Now pink is red with white added, right? But you don't add white to watercolor. So what do? You kind of have to blot it. So I'm going to do a reddish mixture and I'm going to add some yellow. I don't know, I have this idea like to do this yellowy pinky thing. I don't even know if that's an actual color. Right now it's more yellow than pink. Got my test sheet. I'm going to check it out. Oh, let's see, I'll do it. No, I'll do it here. Nope, I want it to be redder. Pick up some more red. Oh yeah, that's way red. Okay, going in. Gonna go around. I go inside my hat, the clear part of my hat. And how I approach the edge, I may just let these little brush strokes stand. So I'm not going all the way to the edge. And I'm going into the clear part of the hat because I want it to be different from the opaque part at the top. There we go. Blot that. I like blotting because it takes most of the water off the paper. So my wall is still pink, but it's lighter and it's wet. And then I can add, look at this, add a darker tone. And that relationship between this and this is still going to be soft because my paper is slightly damp. So I might have a little bit of an edge, but I have a better chance of having that smoky, soft relationship. And you can see I'm putting this down unevenly. Blotting, looking good. Though it's so out of focus, you can't even see what the heck I'm doing. White paper, good. White clock, good. I might put a little, I got a little pink. Maybe I'll put some, give them some cheek color. Why not? Little tip of their nose. Yeah. Jazz them up a little bit. Give her a little lipstick. Oh God, yeah, it's just tiny, tiny little mark. You can hardly see it. See that? She got some lips. This girl got some lips. She's talking. And I just dab it. Picking up a little red and just boop. Keeping it pretty small. There we go. Looking good. Okay, now if I want this to be white, I need to get dark next to it. So I'm going to put in my cat and I'm going to report back. And I hope that I can get this sucker in focus. Okay, cat is going to go right here. Stay and wait for the magic. Okay, we have achieved catness. There she is. I did a couple different versions to find just the right one. Okay, so here's where we are so far. It's still pretty monochromatic and also very warm. I'm going to add some cool tones. And again, I want these white to pop out, so I'm going to make their colors dark. Not so much about the color of the dress, but more about the value, how dark I want it. So I'm going to mix a purple. Bring this up here. Mix in a little violet and a little indigo, or actually a little Prussian. Yeah. Oh yeah, got a nice dark blue. And I'm going to lay that in. Look at that. Just make that pop out. I'm not going to be particularly careful. It's dressness. There we go. Totally fun. And I want it to stay dark, so I'm not going to blot, but I am going to pick up some even darker blue, indigo, and make it even darker underneath of there. Look, yeah, good. Also, just for variation. But it's really great to try to establish where you want your dark tones and where you want your light tones. And I can see I made her neck a little bit too big. I'm going to have to add some light up there. No problem. No problem. Okay, maybe I'll do a deeper red. So my balance is going to be very much on the warm, which is totally fine. But I want it to be nice and dark. There we go. I think I got a little bit too much up here. Just blot that. Can also re-wet it and blot it and get off even more. Feel like you went too far up, which I did. So no problem. Okay, and I think I'm going to make the chair kind of a sepia, like the floor, but maybe add a little bit of yellow, make it really warm. Nah, that's kind of a greeny tone. Not sure about that. I'm going to make it like a gray. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go in here. I'm going to leave the light of the arm. Picked up a little bit of red from her dress, and I absolutely love it. It's totally fine. You know, colors just, they blend in. Look at this. I'm going to pick up the red and I'm going to put it everywhere. Why not? Now I have a new color for my chairs. That was fun. Look at that. Now they're all sort of a reddish, which is very cool. And the arms can be almost metal, so I'm going to leave those pretty shiny. So then I'm actually going to use a little gouache. Here's my gouache kit, which is very fun because I want to do a little bit more opaque. So I'm going to do my pink, whoops, spray, and my gray. If you spray your paints a little bit ahead of time, especially gouache, kind of wakes them up a little bit. And let's see, here's my gray. I'm going to put it in, oh, it's very opaque. So I'm putting it in the dark side here of the helmet. Put it in the dark side. And I'm going to clean my brush. So it's just sort of a little bit damp. And I'm just going to pull over a little bit of that paint so that I end up with a transition from light to dark. Pull it over. I'm just using water. There we go. Good. And I might put a little bit of this in my shield. Here we go. Just add a little touch of color. Maybe that's too much, maybe not. Maybe I have a little gray, maybe some writing in my sign. There we go. Anywhere else I want it? This is going to be shiny, so I'm going to put a little dark in this area. And my table or my chair legs. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to make this a color, a pop color, because that's her foot sticking out in space. So I might even pick up my marker again, or a different one. Make this nice and red. There we go. And then she's really standing out. Good. And you can see it, like I said, I made her neck too tall. We're going to raise this up. And I'll do that with another trick after I'm done. This is so out of focus. Oh my gosh, I'm really sorry. Hope you can see this. Again, let me just try to replace the pin real quick and see if that fixes it. Look, ta-da! Look how great that looks. And in a second, it's gonna go dark. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna darken a little bit more. I'm gonna actually pick up some of that bluish violet that I had before. And look at that. I'm gonna make that shadow nice and dark. Right across there. Look at that, fun. So much fun. Value is so important, light and dark, to make things really pop out. So down the side, goes right inside that shield. There we go. And where you pick up your brush, you get a little puddle. So I'm going to pick up my brush where I want it. I want it next to her head. Push that little puddle around, make it go where I want. Good. A little darker here. Giving these papers a shadow, but they're flat on the wall. They wouldn't have much of a shadow, but then just gives them a little bit of distinction. And then since the light's coming from here, oh yeah, let's put some shadow on the floor. In the direction that the light's coming from, not being too logical. Go right across. Get a little darker, put that right into the checkerboard. Oh yeah. Okay, a little bit darker, maybe in this chair, make this pop out a little bit more. There we go. Now we're painting. Now we're painting. Okay, I'm pretty happy. I am going to make these a little bit shiny. I'm going to do that with whiteout. Let me grab that tool real quick. Okay, here's the part of the program where I get out all the drawing supplies. I mean, this is all little tiny stuff. I don't want to do this with a brush. So I want to make this look like it's a little bit shiny, like hard metal. So I'm going to put in some stripes. See that? I started in focus and now it's out of focus. I'm going to have to Google that. What is the dealio? Just adding some contrast so you can really see what's going on here. There we go. And then I'm going to take my white out. My favorite tools. Make sure it's flowing. And then put that down there like a shine. Hope you can see it. Put the shiny part on the helmet. There we go. Very cool. And also, remember I said her shoulders were too low? So now I'm just going to redraw that. Look at that. I just added some more shoulder. No problemo. My bag of tricks. Here we go. Anything else I want to do? I might make her shoes dark. Not sure. Look at that cat. Cat's great. So reshape her leg a little bit with that white out. A little bit hard to see. Here we go. Override. So, okay, I will take a clear shot of this and send it out to the world because the recording is fuzzy and I don't know what the heck to do about it. If you are watching this video, consider yourself lucky because it's hard to imagine that I'm actually going to send this out into the world. But I sure as heck will send it, share it with my class. But general public, I'm not so sure about. I will watch it, but I think it's been a little insane. Might be my most insane video. But looky here. How fun is that? Totally fun. Okay. Anyway, we'll see if I decide to put this out into the world. Stay safe, you guys. Take care. Love you. Bye.